Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the new subsidiary, the International Business Bank of Burkina Faso in Djibouti. For the international scene, Joe Biden tackles climate change. Welcome to our newsroom. This is one of the key events on the agenda of the 48-hour visit of the President of Burkina Faso, Mr. Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré, to Djibouti. Early this morning, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the President of Burkina Faso, Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré, accompanied by the two First Lady, namely Ms. Khadra Mahmoud Haid and Ms. Adjoavi Sika Kaboré, unveiled the plaque marking the inauguration of the branch of the International Business Bank located at the Damal complex in the southern industrial corners. The two presidents, accompanied by their first ladies, arrived in turns at the Damal complex, welcomed by the chairman of the board of the director of IB Bank, the general manager of the bank, and the president of the central bank. This inauguration ceremony was enhanced by the effective presence of the highest political and administrative authorities, UN partners present at the ceremony were the country's economic operators, but also the capital's merchant. The opening of this branch is indeed an illustration of South-South cooperation, but also reflects the importance of the role that the private sectors can play in the economic cooperation between the two countries. It should be noted that this new branch, which joins the other banking structures of the places, is synonymous with the expansion of Djibouti's financial sector in the wake of technological and digital development. And finally, it should be recalled that with this inauguration, the two countries have laid the first foundation for South-South cooperation. A strong commitment for proves once again, if need be, that the countries of the African continent have not only an agreement but also an economic partnership that serves to bring the wealth of Africa to Africans in Pan-African vision. For his part, the director of IB Bank said that in his speech that this new branch, new bank which joins the other banking architectures of the places is synonymous with the expansions of Djibouti in the wake of technological and digital developments. For his part, the governor of the central bank, Ahmed Osman, said in his speech that the opening of this branch is indeed an illustration of South-South cooperation. It also reflects the importance of the role that the private sectors can play in the economic cooperation between the two countries. Once the various speeches were over, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, and his Burkina Faso counterpart, Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré, who was always accompanied by the two First Ladies, unveiled the plaque of this new branch. President Guelleh and his counterpart from Burkina Faso, accompanied by the First Lady, as well as the officials, visit the bank, the IB Bank, backed by a continental group, is already present in the financial sectors in several other African countries. It provides its customers with various services and also services in the financing, private investment, and in the development of infrastructure and several other sectors. Indeed, this business center is a real place of exchange designed to foster a close and trusting relationship with customers. This day marked in the annals of the IB Bank for businessmen who was a success by inaugurating these new subsidiaries in Djibouti. The bank seeks to increase the Pan-African footprint, but also that the Republic of Djibouti is a reference in terms of growth, stability, and business opportunities. For his part, the Burkina Faso President Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré said in his interventions, "We came here for a business visit, and it ends in beautiful this inauguration of IB Bank in Djibouti." All this reveals, despite the distance of the country and despite the difference of cultures, we are committed to make a new Africa, and that each of us brings us the best of what he has. For his part, the head of state, Ismail Omar Guelleh, has indicated on this occasion in the national television. Listen to him.
À la fin de la visite officielle de notre frère, le président Kaboré.
We are at the end of the official visit of our brother, President Kaboré. The first time a head of state from Burkina Faso comes to Djibouti, and this is a memorable date for us. We think with the creation of this bank, ties will be further deepened, take the lead, invite other African countries, and especially at this time when we are in the process of setting up Africa's free trade zone. We believe that this success will lead to further progress for the entire African continent.
Et nous pensons que ce succès va entraîner d'autres succès, Inch'Allah, pour notre pays.
This is after a 48-hour visit, an agenda of the President of Burkina Faso, Roch-Marc Christian Kaboré, that ends today in the late morning. The President of Burkina Faso flew from Djibouti International Airport to Ouagadougou. This visit reflects the desire of the two heads of state to work to strengthen the excellent relations of fraternal friendship and multifaceted cooperation that unite the two countries. Crowned with success at every stage, this visit by the President of Burkina Faso and his delegation to Djibouti has enabled the two countries to lay the first foundation for what will be the solid foundations of diverse and varied multifaceted partnership. The Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed received a large delegation of Pakistani senators in this morning's the VIP lounge of People's Palace. Delegation which was introduced to the minister by the Djibouti parliamentarian was composed of Senator Mirza Mohammed Afridi, chairman of the Senate Standing Committee on Trade and Councils of the politician, and Senator Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, the Faiz Tahim of the International Congress of Parliamentarians, as well as Muhammad Fahad Tanim, the Truth International. The stay of this Pakistani delegation in Djibouti is related to a mission of study and identification of partnership and economic commercial complementarity between the two countries and the two peoples. The Pakistani senator thanked the Republic of Djibouti and its government for the welcome and humanitarian support. Finally, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed welcomed the Pakistani delegation and wished them a pleasant stay in Djibouti. The Minister of Budget Abdul Karim Adan Shah received this morning the delegation of the Arab Parliament led by Adil Abdurrahman Al-Hassoumi and several parliamentarian members of the Arab Parliament. The delegation of the Arab Parliament was introduced to the Minister of Budget by the President of the National Assembly, Muhammad Ali Humed, and his staff. The Minister of Budget welcomed the delegation of the Arab Parliament, who thanked the Minister for his welcome and his availability. The discussions were frank and cordial, focused on strengthening cooperation between the Republic of Djibouti and the Arab parliamentary institutions, of which Djibouti is a member. The parliamentary delegation spent 3 days in Djibouti and had meetings with the main authorities, including the President of the Republic. At the end of the meeting was closed with an exchange of gifts. The President of the Arab Parliament, Adil Abdurrahim Al-Assoumi, accompanied by the President of the National Assembly, Muhammad Ali Humed, visited this morning this University Center for Industrial Science and Technology in Djibouti. Upon their arrival, the delegation was received by the director of the center, Mr. Maysara Muhammad Saif, administrators and teachers. The delegation carried out an inspection visit of the various facilities of the center, including classrooms and laboratories. The President of the Arab Parliament, the Speaker of the National Assembly, and the member of the delegations were briefed on the educational services provided by the center since its inauguration by the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, 4 years ago. Also, as part of his official visit to Djibouti, the President of the Arab Parliament, Adil bin Abdurrahim Al-Assoumi, yesterday visited the embassy of the custodian of the two holy places of the Saudi Arabia for texts with Ambassador of Abdulaziz bin Abdullah Al Matar. At the beginning of this visit, the Saudi ambassador welcomed Mr. Adil bin Abdurrahim Al-Assoumi and his delegation, is affirming the importance of this courtesy visit, and the Speaker of the Arab Parliament signed the guest book of the embassy, appreciating the kingdom's major role in dealing with the Arab issue in the international fora and its relentless effort to promote joint Arab action. The ambassador of the custodian of the two holy places in Djibouti noted that the kingdom spares no effort to play its central role in defending Arab causes, and that this comes from the responsibility entrusted to it toward the Arab and Islamic world. For his part, the President of the Arab Parliament, Mr. Adil bin Abdurrahim Al-Assoumi, has long welcomed the support of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz and his Crown Princess Mohammed bin Salman, the absolute Arab issue called absolute Arab cause, and stressed the interest of the kingdom in strengthening Arab national security. He said his visit to the Republic of Djibouti is part of the serious efforts made by the Arab Parliament to consolidate and strengthen Arab national security and joint Arab action, stressing at the same time the pivotal role of the Republic of Djibouti in this vital area. After this, the Speaker of the Arab Parliament paid an inspection visit to the Saudi school, which is considered to be one of the most important pioneering institutions in the teaching of Arabic in Djibouti. During this visit, Mr. Adil bin Abdurrahman Al-Assoumi and his companion received further clarification from the headmasters of the school, Muhammad bin al-Harbi on the workings of the scientific devices which has been in operation for nearly 3 decades. The headmasters took this opportunity to express his thanks and gratitude to the Speaker of the Parliament and his delegations for the visit, and said that it reflected the extent of the interest that the Arab Parliament attaches to the development of strengthening of Arab education in the Republic of Djibouti. The ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Republic of Sudan, Ahmed Ali Barre, was received Tuesday by the transitional prime ministers of the Republic of Sudan, Ahmed Ali Barre. During this visit, the ambassador presented to his host the report on the inquiry committee on the tense relation between Somalia and Kenya, conveyed the brotherly greetings. His Excellency Ismail Omar Gele, the Republic of Djibouti would like to ascertain that the IGAD fact-finding missions on the prevailing situation between Kenya and Somalia is the outcome of the decision taken by the head of state and government of IGAD at the 38th Extraordinary Summit held in Djibouti on the 20th December, which mandate the Republic of Djibouti to carry out this mission. The mission was undertaken with the consent of the government of the Federal Republic of Somalia and the government of the Republic of Kenya. The visit of both Somalia and Kenya took place from 9 to 13 January 2021. The terms of reference of this fact-finding mission was based upon grievance made during this summit by the President of the Federal Republic of Djibouti, Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed Farmajo, who accused the Republic of Kenya of interferences into Somalia internal affairs with regard to the way the mission was fulfilled. There is no doubt that it was carried out with professionalism and impartiality while remaining strictly neutral. The Republic of Djibouti was only driven by the sole purpose to help the two sisterly nations ease tension between them, and has adopted an unbiased approach based on strict objectivity. Djibouti has always strived for peace and stability in the region and made considerable effort to contribute to the security, stability and peace in Somalia, and remains committed to pursuing this endeavor. The Republic of Djibouti recalled that the final report on the fact-finding mission was submitted to the current chairman of the IGAD, the President, the Republic of Sudan, and to all heads of state and government of IGAD, as well as to all the executive secretary. Last not least, the Republic of Djibouti consider that it's now up to Assembly of the Head of State and Government of IGAD to determine the ways forward and decide the best way to achieve reconciliation between the Federal Republic of Somalia and the Republic of Kenya. The Minister of Health, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, yesterday received a delegation composed of engineers from a consulting engineering group with the framework of implementation and for the work that will be carried out on the project to strengthen mother and child health. The meeting took place in the presence of the General Secretary, the Acting Secretary General, Mr. Maiki Mohamed Musa, and many senior executives of the department. The discussion is focused on the different aspects on this major project, focused on maternals and neonatals and child health, which is financed up to $28 million by the Islamic Development Bank. The project includes, among others, the construction and equipment of a hospital dedicated to mother and child health, as well as extensions of the emergency room of the Peltier Hospital and Shoko Hospital. Finally, the Minister of Health has signed the contract with the said engineering consortium, which will be responsible for the design and supervision of the civil engineering works. The Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, His Excellency Yunus Ali Gedi, today received the Pakistani delegation, which has been in Djibouti since last Sunday. The delegation, introduced to the ministers by Djibouti parliamentarian, was composed of Senator Mirza Mohammed, chairman of the Senate Standing Committee on Trade and Policy Council, Mr. Fayaz Tahim, and of the International Congress of Parliamentarians, as well as Mohammed Faratio of the Truth International. The working stay of this Pakistani delegation in Djibouti relates to a mission of study and identification of economic commercial partnership between the two countries and the two peoples. The exchanges made it possible to review the investment opportunities in the energy and mining sectors. The Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Nabil Mohammed Ahmed, signed a partnership agreement with the Egyptian delegation. The University of Tanta in the framework of strengthening cooperation for a more promotional educational impetus. During this meeting, discussions were fruitful and mainly focused on the signing of a memorandums of understanding for cooperation between the two universities. The Minister of Higher Education, President of the University of Djibouti, the technical advisor to the Minister, Dr. Fahmi, Director of the Cooperation of the University, took part in this event. On the Egyptian side, the president of the Egyptian University, Dr. Mahmoud Ahmed Zaki, Dr. Imad Said Osman, and Vice President of the Council University at the Egyptian Embassy, Mr. Mohammed Hussein. A framework agreement aimed at establishing a strategic partnership was signed today by a video conference between the ports and free zone authorities, represented by its president Abu Bakr Omar Haddi, and the autonomous ports of Dakar, represented by its chairman and managing director Mr. Abu Bakr Sadiq Beye. This agreement will launch the milestones of South-South and African cooperation and comes in the context of the implementation since January 1st, 2021 of the African Common Market through the Continental Free Trade Area. In his speech at the ceremony, the president of the Port Authority, Abu Bakr Omar Haddi, highlighted the bonds of friendship and cooperation in the maritime and port fight existing between the two countries. He also recalled that the contributions of the Djiboutian deployed in Dakar to ensure the smooth running of the port of Dakar, abandoned by the consortiums in charge of management when they lost the operating contract in 2017. This model of South-South cooperation, which has already proved its worth, will be further strengthened, he said. For his part, the president of the Port Authority and Free Zone, Abu Bakr Omar Haddi, has indicated that this strategic partnership covers several areas, including the strengthening of exchanges, maritime transport, safety, and the development of joint project trainings and exchanges of expertise and experiences. Still in the continuity of the activities carried out within the framework of the 20th anniversary festivity, the Dean of University, together with the strong delegations of Afar cultures and languages, organized this morning in Balbala campus, more precisely in the hall of the Flash Amphitheater, a conference on the promotion, valorizations, and introductions of a mother tongue at the University of Djibouti. The event brought together on the spot, in addition to the president of the Afar PEN, Mr. Alwan Burhan and Ahmed Gaba Maki, writers, and the curators of the Afar Heritage, Ali Buha, and former professors of Arabic, Salah Muhammad Hassan, and researchers in Afar languages also employed at CERT, Muhammad Hassan, historian, and professors of French, the dean of the university, member of the academic bodies, and professor students of the university took part in this event. The ceremony began with the readings of the The day is rich in importance of mother tongue in vectors promote the peace and between the neighboring country. The delegation of Pakistani parliamentarians was warmly welcomed by Colonel Wais Omar Boghore, commanders of the Coast Guard, following the honors paid to the delegation led the Senator Mirza Muhammad by the Coast Guard officers, the chairman of Pakistani Senate Commerce Committee, and the Coast Guard commanders Colonel Wais Omar Boghore held extensive talks to discuss essential issue of relevance to the two countries and the two peoples. The Pakistani delegation, accompanied by Djibouti parliamentarians, together attended a Coast Guard presentation on the Coast Guard maritime facilities and equipment. During this reception, the two officials raised several points in the maritime safety and security aspects of Red Sea area and Bab el-Mandeb. The courtesy meeting ended with the traditional gifts exchanges and group photo. Following the death of the Secretary General of the late Muhammad Hassan Abdullah yesterday, January 27, many messages of condolence have been sent to RTD. The Prime Minister, the President of the National Assembly, Muhammad Ali Hamad, expressed their most sincere and deepest condolence to the family of the late Muhammad Hassan Abdullah, to the head of the state and whom he was a close collaborator for a long time, and the entire nation is a great clerks of the Republic, personality of stature and charisma. The late Muhammad Hassan Abdullah, as Secretary General of the government, was one of the main architects and of the institutional and normative strengthening of our country. In addition, all the members of the government, all the members of parliament, the collaborators of the President of the Republic, the Secretary General, and the high officials of the central administrations of Djibouti, all the ambassadors and the consuls of Djibouti abroad, the local elected officials, the prefect and the president of the regional councils, addressed their most saddened condolence to the family of the deceased Muhammad Hassan Abdullah and pray Allah to welcome him, the deceased, in his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And we were saddened to listen the death of today in France of the late Roble Obsiye Bouh, a former member of the National Assembly. The late Roble Obsiye Bouh, born in 1937 in Dakhil, was a former teacher. Roble Obsiye Bouh, a pro-independence activist from the first hour, was a founding member of the Popular Movement Party in 1960 and an organizing member of the FLCS after the country's gained its independence. The late Roble was elected as a member of the first National Assembly in 1977 and was the General Rapporteur of the Finance Committee, member of Foreign Affairs Committee, representative of the National Assembly and the National Committee for Assistance to Refugee Disasters Victims, permanent delegate of the National Assembly to the. In these painful circumstances, the Minister of Communication in charge of postal communication, Radwan Abdullahi Bahdon, expressed his sincere condolence to the relatives and family of the late Roble Obsiye Bouh. May God welcome him into his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And to end the national, Suleiman Jim'ale's family has been looking for their 6-year-old child, Abdurrahman Suleiman Jim'ale, since yesterday. He lived in Hayable, behind the seat of the RPP Hayable Annex. Anyone who meets him is kindly requested to contact 7772-2184 7773 7039. For the international scene, Joe Biden tackles climate change, surfing on a cost popularity river equality by Donald Trump. Joe Biden is leading the United States fight against climate change. He has just signed the executive orders to reduce oil, gas and carbon emission and double the energy productions of offshore wind business and Joe Biden has signed 3 executive orders to preserve 30% of the country's and ocean waters over the next 10 years and to move on an all-electric federal vehicle fleet. Joe Biden wants to end federal subsidies for oil and other fossil fuels. He also wants to halt new oil and gas concessions on land and sea that fall under federal jurisdictions. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.